Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark, this is Spiguyver Backpacking, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that I've seen come up more often lately than I remember seeing it in the past. And it's been on some forums and even on some YouTube channels that I watch, and that is the hate for REI. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. Why is there so much hate for REI, and is it deserved? So let's get into it. Let's go. All right, for those of you who don't know, REI is one of the biggest sporting goods chains in the world, geared towards, the outdoor industry. So backpacking, hiking, climbing, snowboarding, skiing, snowshoeing, camping, just those types of activities. And they have gear, they have a ton of gear, they have clothing, they have footwear, for all those different activities. Now, depending on which store you go to and which location it's at, it may have other stuff. A lot of bike stuff as well, kayaks, canoes. Kind of depends on where you are, what they actually have though, because they do kind of gear what they have towards the activities that are around, which makes a lot of sense. But I've seen a lot of hate, a lot of people really bagging on REI for several different reasons. And that's what we're gonna get into today. But really, I think a lot of it comes down to managing your expectations. If we make a little bit of a comparison, I really like specialty coffees. I've got a few roasters that I really enjoy coffee from. But Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks are both coffee places. They're both stores that are related to and focused solely on coffee and coffee products. But knowing that I love specialty coffee, I don't go into a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks and expect to find good specialty coffee. And that's kind of how it is with REI. Now, I'll go into a Dunkin' Donuts or I'll go into a Starbucks and I'll get food and I'll get drinks and enjoy them. But it's not the same as the specialty coffee. It's not the same as a really nice, well-roasted, single origin coffee done in a pour over to the exact specifications that bring out the true flavors and notes of that coffee. It's not what you're gonna get at those mass-produced, big, appealing to the majority of people type locations. And that's really how you have to think of an REI. No, you're not going to walk into an REI and find cottage industry brands and small mom and pop shop stuff sitting on the shelves there. It wouldn't work. REI is a huge corporation. It's a co-op, but it's a huge commercial business that has 179 stores in 42 states and the District of Columbia. So it is pretty much everywhere. And some states have multiple stores. If you go to Colorado or California, California has over 30 stores now. But a lot of the other states have quite a few opportunities for you to be near a store. A lot of the major metro areas across the country have REIs. So let's talk about why people don't like and who doesn't like REIs. The main groups that I've seen that really bag on REI are the really experienced hiking, backpacking community, and particularly the ultralight community. And to some extent, that makes sense because this store is not really going to cater to those people, to the people who have refined their packs, especially the ultralighters who are looking to shave every gram off of what they've got. They're looking to a lot of those cottage industry type vendors to find those niche products that fit in and really save them weight. Whereas when you go to an REI, there's like specific brands that you can probably expect to find. You're gonna find like North Face stuff, MSR stuff. You're gonna find all of the big names, Patagonia. But what you're not gonna find are the really niche products, the Gossamer gears, the Z-Packs, things like that are not going to be there. And a good reason is those manufacturers, those smaller industry vendors don't make enough product to actually supply that huge market, because it's not just those 179 stores that are there, it's also that online presence that they've got. So it's a huge demand. And while Z-Packs and Gossamer Gear and all these other ones have an online presence, a lot of times they don't stock a huge amount. And in order for this to work, they would have to have enough product to stock all of the stores. So I get why some of the more experienced people don't like it from that standpoint. It isn't going to carry the brands that they may be looking for, or the pieces of gear that are going to belong in their packs. Another reason that's been cited is the lack of knowledge of the staff. And I think that this one's kind of a hit or miss. You can go to some stores and find people that are extremely knowledgeable. People that are working there because they love the outdoors and they're into it and they know what's going on. Actually, the REI that I went to when I first started going in Concord, California, and even, surprisingly, even the one in Oklahoma City had extremely knowledgeable staff. I've gone to other ones that, the people really didn't know what was going on. But really, how much can you expect everybody in that store to be an expert when they're paid pretty close to minimum wage? I mean, the pay isn't enough to really draw in true experts that are going to know everything about all the gear that they have there. Yes, they have their divisions of the store that they stick to, and they answer questions, and they're going to learn as they're there. But they probably, a lot of them don't have the real world experience that experienced backpackers and hikers have. Which is why I would say if you're going in there expecting to gain some knowledge or ask a lot of questions, you may get a little bit that's geared towards what they have in the store, the stock that they have there, or the types of brands, or the type of gear that they carry. But you're going to miss a whole chunk of what's out there, what's truly out there. And so that's why I suggest, if you're doing research, hey, you're on YouTube right now. YouTube is where you should be going to do research. Figure out exactly what it is that you want, narrow it down. You can use stores like REI to go and see what different features actually look like, try things on. And I know that a lot of people are against doing this, but you could go do that and then take the knowledge that you've gained from online research, YouTube, going to the store, seeing stuff, and find exactly what you need and maybe purchase it online. High prices is another one, but there's a reason for those high prices that we'll get into in just a bit. There's another strange one that I've heard about why people don't like REI, and it's mainly the people that have been around for a while and have been either members of REI for a while or used to visit REIs or whatever the case is. And it's that the new stores aren't like the old stores. And if you've ever been to one of their older stores, I think you get kind of what they're talking about here. So the store that I used to visit in Concord, California was, or Walnut Creek, it's either Walnut Creek or Concord, but that store was awesome. It was huge. It was this sprawling store, 2 levels. It had a climbing wall that you could use. It had all these areas that you could try stuff out, rock climb areas like rock hills that you could put a pack on and go up. You could put your shoes on and walk around the store and climb over stuff. So they had a lot of really cool stuff, and it was a very expansive store with a lot of cool stuff. They had an area where if you were trying out a tent, you could actually set up the tent. They had special pullouts for the tent that had Velcro that would attach to the floor. They had an area that you could blow up sleeping pads and lay on them. It was a really cool store. The newer stores are much smaller, and for good reason. I mean, you've got to pay for the square footage that you're leasing or buying or whatever. So you make it a little bit more compact and save some money there. And I get why people like the old experience and don't like the new experience so much. But is that really a reason to hate on REI so much? I don't know. Let's talk about the positives of REI. So REI has a membership program. It's $30 for a lifetime membership. Actually, when I joined probably back in 95, 96, I think it was 1996 that I joined, it was $20 for a lifetime membership. So in that time period, it's only gone up $10 for a lifetime membership, and it is truly a lifetime membership. So I thought that I had lost my membership. I didn't think I was a member anymore. I didn't have a card. It had been several years, probably 5 or 6 years that I wasn't using the store, hadn't been to a store. I had lived in states that didn't have an REI. There was no REI around, and I got back to a place where there was one, and I went in, and they're like, "Are you a member?" I'm like, "Yeah, I used to be," but they're like, "Well, once you're a member for life." And so they looked up my address, my name. I wasn't sure which address had been in there, and they ended up finding me and took down my new phone number, my new address, mailed me a new card, and so now I'm back in the system. But for that $30 membership fee, you get a lot of really good benefits. First of all, their return policy. Now, we talked about the prices being high. The prices probably have to be high, and really the prices aren't that high. When you look at MSRP, they're pretty much all MSRP. They just haven't reduced them below. Everything across the line is pretty much at MSRP when you go into their stores. But their return policy for members is unparalleled anywhere. So pretty much no questions asked. You can take a piece of gear back, whether you broke it, whether you didn't like it, no matter how used it is, and they will take it back. So I have taken back shoes. I try to err on the side of not taking something back if I've actually used it for a while and then something happens to it. It's just kind of, well, that happens. But I know that there are a lot of people out there that take serious advantage of this perk and will buy shoes and wear them till there's almost no tread left and go and turn them back in and get the credit for them to get another pair. As those get traded in, they aren't sold as new again. They're put into their bargain basement area where you can go. I think now they call it a resupply area, where you can buy the used stuff at a severely discounted price. So like $150 shoes may be out there, depending on their how much they've been worn. They may be sitting on the shelf in the resupply or bargain basement area for anywhere between probably $80 and $40. I've seen some marked way down based on different wear on them, how they look. You know, someone may have just brought them back completely muddy, and they didn't do anything. You know, REI didn't clean them up or anything. They're sitting there on the shelf, still muddy, but they look brand new. But because they're muddy, they're covered in mud, they've marked them down significantly. So if you go check out those areas, you can get some pretty decent deals. On top of that, you also get a 10% discount, or a 10%, not discount, but a 10% rebate every year. It's not a guaranteed 10%, but I think every year I've been a member, it's been at least the 10% has come back. And so I think it's in March timeframe. You get a card that tells you how much it is, how much your rebate is, and also I think 2 different 20% off cards. So a 20% off a normal priced item and 20% off of anything from the REI outlet. So they also have an outlet for discontinued stuff where you can get things at a much lower price. Additionally, like I said, they have a big online presence as well. And anything you order online, if you're a member, is free shipping, regardless of the price. If you buy something that's $1.50, shipping is free if you're a member. So that's kind of cool. And then there are other special discounts that go out throughout the year. For example, I went in to my local REI, bought a new pair of shoes. Actually, I took even more advantage of the membership perks. I bought a pair of boots that weren't working out. I'd only used them for about 30 miles. I took them in, told them, hey, I'm getting blisters with these. They're like, oh, no problem. They credited me. I bought a new pair of shoes, and because I had spent over $100 during a certain promotional period, I got a $20 member bonus card. And so this is just $20 cash, essentially, that I can go in and use the next time that I go in there. There's specific dates, so February 15th through February 25th. Anytime during those 10 days, I can walk in there and use that as cash. So pretty cool that they have things like that that go on all the time. Additionally, I talked about the resupply or bargain basement area. They also occasionally have what they call garage sales, and that's taking a bunch of used equipment. Usually they pull in a bunch of used equipment during that time from trade-ins, which they also do trade-ins. So even if it's not something that you bought there, certain items they will actually take as trade-in. It goes into this garage sale time, and then they mark them down even more. So if it was in the bargain basement at 50% off, it may be in the garage sale at 75 or 90% off. I've seen some ridiculous deals in garage sales. So what are my personal thoughts of REI? Well, like I stated up front, I think you have to set your expectations. You're not going to go in there and find every brand and everything that's out there. But I think for beginners, it's a good place to go and get a base of knowledge. It's a good place to go and get quality gear. It's not going to be the lightest gear. It's not going to be the most advanced materials and fabrics. It's going to be what the main players in the outdoor industry are really working with at that time. So whatever North Face or Gregory or Arc'teryx or whoever is using, that's probably what you're going to see there. It's not going to be the cutting edge stuff that the Z-Packs, Gossamer gear, Dutchwear gear, any of these little cottage industry people are doing. It's going to be much more the mainstream stuff. So as long as you go in there with that expectation and you use it for clothing, if you use it for shoes, and take advantage of the ability to go try stuff on, figure out exactly what works, get a use period with it. I got that pair of boots. I went and used them for about 30 miles. They weren't working out for me. I took them back, no questions asked. I was refunded. That's, to me, worth the lack of knowledge and the lack of specific gear in there and the higher prices. I will pay the higher prices and do my research before I go in there and take advantage of the benefits that they truly offer. That's my take on it. So I think that the hate is a little misplaced, and I think any industry you're in, whether you're looking at cars, whether you're looking at bikes, whether you're looking at coffee, you've got to set your expectations based on where it is that you're going. You can't walk into a Ford dealership expecting to go test drive Lamborghinis. That's not how it works. All right, guys. I want to know your input. What are your experiences with REI? Have they been positive? Have they been negative? I want to know down below. Are you a member of REI? Let us know. All right, guys. Any questions, any comments, leave them down below in the comment section. Go ahead and hit that like button if you like this video. And if you did like this video, go hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you get notification every time we upload a video. We do a lot of videos recently. We're going to keep that rolling. We're going to keep pushing out content. If you are interested in supporting the channel, go hit up the Patreon page. Would truly appreciate it. I will see you guys down the trail.